Welcome to Who's Your Neighbor? I am really fortunate because COVID woke me up, as it did many people, to how much we need human interaction and not on Facebook or social media. It's really important to keep our hearts open that we interact more. And so I was given the concept of this show, and Portia Ing said, Terry, you've been in Portland, and that everybody in the healing community. Well, not everybody, but I knew a bunch of people, so I started inviting them. After about 25, then I had to go find some new friends. But what I wanted to do, what we are doing now, and our engineer who does her magic in the background, who brings people up and addresses down at the bottom of the page, um, we we bring you an experience, and it's live. It's not interactive for you, but it's interactive. Tonight we have a Tao Healing Hands practitioner, and you're going to love the story of her grandmother. But then she has two more of her extended family that she's going to offer Tao Healing Hands blessings to for conditions, and you'll get to experience that. And I have known Noelia for I don't remember how many years now, 5, 6, 7, somewhere in there. Um, and I just feel like family um, when I'm with her and her family. Um, so, um, Noelia, come on the stage. Welcome. So good to see you.
Thank you, Terry.
So, um, would you share with our viewers how you, well, you know the story better than I do. I'll be quiet and let you tell about your grandmother.
Thank you, Terry. So it was just before I got my down hands, my grandma came to stay with me because the house where she was at, people had COVID. It didn't dawn on me that there was the possibility that my grandmother also had COVID. So she arrived and she's 90 years old. She has chronic conditions of diabetes, high blood pressure, all sorts of things going on. And so initially, I took her to the hospital because her diabetes was very high. And so at that time, they informed us that she had COVID as well as a urinary bladder infection. And so it was it was it was it was sad, before we took her in so that she could stay there for the time that she needed to stay. All of the uncles we were calling, my brother was like, we might not see her again. So let's call everyone. And so at that time, I received guidance um, to do downhand blessings every 5 hours. So I kept doing that. And so, ironically, to other family members who also had COVID, that I was also had the pleasure of supporting at that time, she did fairly well with the symptoms. It wasn't as painful and as uncomfortable as it could be. And so I felt so grateful for having that ability to help my grandmother. And I have to say that thanks to her faith, um, and her good attitude also, all of that supported. And right now she is enjoying the sun in Cihuatanejo, Mexico. She's been there for the past 2 3 years, I believe. Since after that incident, shortly after that, she's over there with her sons, enjoying the sun and the beach. And I have to thank so much Dr. Shah for that ability to be able to help not only my grandmother.
So you had just received your Tao Hands transmission,
Yes, I had, Terry.
and then you were giving your grandmother blessings every day.
Every 5 hours, as they were telling me.
Wow. And how many days was it? And what did you notice about her as you were giving her the blessings?
Yeah. Well, the thing that I noticed is that let's see, it was so long ago. It was when COVID initially began. Let's see if I remember exactly, precisely, but just the essence. I believe that she knew it helped her. So she'd be like, when is my next blessing? When is my next blessing? It's like she could feel it because she started to begin to feel the symptoms again. And she would like ask me. And then the other thing that I noticed is that I was like, Grandma, we need to get you happy, joyful. So how about you sing? And she has always prayed and sing a lot of church songs. And so she just began singing, and I could hear her and just really lifting her vibration. So my grandma, and she was praying a lot. So it was really beautiful experience for me to see.
So did you say she was 90?
90,
Wow.
yes.
And she had 4 major chronic conditions. And
Hmm.
then a urinary tract infection on top of that?
Yes,
Wow.
yes.
And you were brand new, so you didn't even really know much about anything except, well, I'm supposed to turn it on and every 5 hours, huh?
Thanks to Micaela, because she showed me how to do the very first blessing that I did for a friend, and then my grandma was next. So I really didn't even know what I was doing, but I didn't need to because I wasn't doing the healing. I was just the vessel, and I just trusted heaven and to do the work.
That's so important. I just want to bring that out for our viewers is that those of us who have this gift, um, it reminds me. I grew up, in Christian churches, different ones, because we moved a lot, and and I kept hearing about the grace of God. And I remember one passage, I think it's in the New Testament, where Jesus was telling his disciples, greater things than these, that he'd done, like, changing water to wine and raising the dead. He says, greater things than these shall ye do in my name's sake. And I didn't understand that. But that's what this Dow Hands is. It's like, we don't do this. It's through us. I'm still, I received the first level of divine healing hands like 2010. So that's like 12 years ago. But I didn't do anything with it because I didn't believe in it, really, to be honest, for like 6 or 7 years. And now, though, I'm just, and when I hear your story, I just love the story of your grandmother, because it's like, wow, you can be absolutely brand new and have no clue. And it works because it's not us doing it. Yeah. Reminds me of that old saying, let go and let God.
Yeah, we just need to get it out of the way sometimes and just really allow. And when you have so much love, like I have for my grandmother and all my family, you just open your heart and allow whatever, you know, God, the heaven will manifest.
That was what blocked me. I was all in my head because my heart had not opened. Um, I had what I used to jokingly call, well, it wasn't a joke. I used to I had a nuclear childhood, because the word is a little pun, because the word nuclear can refer to the family, but it can also refer to radioactivity and atomic bombs. And yeah, so I grew up not believing that I was worth anything. And with Dow Hands, the transition began for me, and then the healings changed. Um, but back to you and your family, your extended family. So we have 2 of your extended family that you're going to do demonstration blessings for tonight.
Yes, Terry, it's actually my oldest sister, Josie, and my niece, Itzel.
Wonderful. Let's ask Michelle to bring Josie on with us then. And she appears. Yeah.
Hi.
So I'm just going to step out of the way, and Noe, go ahead and do your thing.
Thank you, Terry. So, Josie, can you tell us a little bit more about what you want the blessing for today?
Well, uh, it's been about like a today. 2 days, my throat has been hurting, and it could be a symptom of COVID. I don't exactly know, but it's been bothering me.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how much would you rate 10 being the most severe, the pain that you're experiencing at this moment?
I would say it's like about a eight,
Wow.
7.
So I want you to take note of that because then at the conclusion of the blessing, I will ask you the same question, okay?
Thank you.
And now I just want to invite you to close your eyes. If it feels right for you, put one of your hands in your chest or both in your lower abdomen to help you ground and to open your heart. And then feel that connection with Mother Earth through the soles of your feet. As you breathe in, notice your belly expanding. As you exhale, notice it contracting and remain aware, especially of that area where you want the healing to go, and visualize light going there. And whatever sensation you receive, do not judge it, just send love and light. And so, dear my Dada healing hands, I love you, honor you, and deeply appreciate you. Can you please bless Josie in her throat or the root cause of whatever is happening in that area as appropriate? Thank you, thank you, thank you. And dear all my Light treasures, transmissions, blessings, I love you, honor you, and appreciate you. Can you please join my Dada healing hands and bless Josie as appropriate? Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And the blessing will be silent, and I'll let you know when it's over. Blessing begins. how, thank you, thank you, thank you. And how is just everywhere, everything's well perfect. And thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you to all the beings that were here blessing. Thank you, thank you. So just take a minute and continue to observe. Allow it to just continue to integrate with yourself. And whenever you're ready, gently, gradually pick it up and rest.
Thank you.
And you could move a little if you want. So notice anything.
I just felt a lot of like warmth, a lot of heat.
Maybe a little bit of tears too.
Yes. Yeah, tears were coming down. I didn't know why. And like it was like, I don't know, my whole body feel like hot, warm. Yeah.
So if you've had a minute to kind of feel a little, can you tell us on a 1 to 10? I know it's a 7 or an 8. What would you rate your pain as now?
When you were giving me the blessing, I feel the need to pass down saliva. I feel like I need to like pass down. I'm like, and that feels soothing. That feel like, I don't know, I feel good. And my pain, I could say it's gone down a lot, because I said it was about an 8 or 7. I could say now it could be like about 4
Wow.
or 3, 4. Because when I was passing down the saliva, I felt like something was going down. I don't know. I feel like it was clearing. Thank you.
Thank you.
So that was 5 or 6 minutes. And the pain dropped by half, 50%. Wow. I love it. So, yeah. Josie, would you be comfortable giving your sister permission to give you 3 or 4 blessings a day until you feel better?
Yes. Thank you.
Super. I, these are, I just love this. It's like, wow. Your smile is wider, your face is brighter, and the pain is half of what it was. I love it. Maybe more. 7 or 8 down to maybe even a 3. What some people notice, incidentally, is and I think it's because the physical body takes longer to change than like a mental condition or an emotion. So, you know, an hour from now, just check in. 2 hours from now, before you go to bed, just go, what's my pain level now? Who knows?
Hopefully you'll be gone.
Sometimes it takes a little bit to integrate, like Terry said, and we might not notice it right away until later.
Oops.
Sorry.
No worries. One of the things that we notice with the internet, because we work with people online. Well, we have had people on the show from all across the United States. I don't think we've done anybody from Hawaii yet or outside of the U.S. But boy, the internet just hits. Well, everybody that's got any internet knows that it comes and goes. Yeah. Well, you also, Noe, have a niece here waiting,
Yes,
waiting in the back room.
it's Itzel.
And there she is. And speaking of internet that's not really as stable as one would like, um, I can see your niece kind of moving, which means that it's not the most stable internet, but that's okay
Mm.
because you and she have already talked, haven't you?
Yes.
So, Ithel, would you like to share anything or ask anything? Can't hear you. Can you hear us? So, possibly not. So, Noelia, um, would you share whatever Ithel might be comfortable sharing? There she is. Now I hear her voice.
Can you hear me?
Now we can, yes. And
Hello?
gone again. It's fading in and out, mostly out. And that's okay because everybody already knows none of us are in the same room. So these Dow hands blessings work remotely.
Is it okay if my auntie um for me?
Yes.
Yeah, our reception is
Itzel, I texted you. So if you could tell me on a 1 to 10 how severe is your anxiety right now? That way we could get a before and after the blessing. Okay, perfect. Thank you. And again, I hope that you could hear me, but if not, just open your hearts. And we have done this before, so I think you know a little bit of it. And today we're doing the smaller version because typically we do a little more extensive one. Um, so I just want to ask you to connect with yourself. You take a deep breath, and as you breathe in, feel your feet and your connection with Mother Earth, to the soles of your feet. We send her our love and our gratitude, and we receive her nourishment. And at the same time, be aware of your breath. Visualize light going to your heart. I invite you to put one hand in your heart and another one in your lower abdomen. So just breathe deeply, visualize light going to your heart. And I say your heart, but you could also put it in the middle of your chest or heart chakra or spiritual heart. And so just deeply connect, releasing any worrying. And if there is a worry, it's perfect. Just look into it without judgment. Nothing is good and nothing is bad. Just simply feel. And the deeper you go into the feeling without judging it, just notice any changes. And feel that alignment through your crown chakra with heaven as well. This perfect alignment, completely centered and in the present moment. Open your heart to receive. And as the blessing continues, you just continue to be aware of what's happening inside you. And if your mind wanders, it's okay, just redirect it back to your body, to this present moment as we connect. And thanking all the beings that are here with us. Thank you, and dear all my treasures, transmissions, blessings. I love you, honor you, and I deeply appreciate you. Can you please join my doubt that I healing hands and bless itself as appropriate? Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I hope it's appropriate, but I'm getting that maybe as a brief forgiveness practice. Is it okay if we do that, Terry? Okay. And I'll try to make it brief. I'm not quite sure how much time we have. But deeply connect with any being that you connect with, whether that's the moon, the stars, any divinity, could be the divinity within yourself, Mother Mary, angels, whatever it is that you connect with. And when I say divinity, it could mean whatever you consider divine and sacred. And if not, it is perfect as well. And so, dear any soul who its ancestors or descendants have hurt in this or any other lifetime, who might have caused you to experience anxiety, whether it was intentional or unintentional, please come. And dear all of its ancestors and descendants from all lifetimes, we love you, honor you, appreciate you. Please come and do this forgiveness practice with us. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Love you, love you, love you. Itzel and her ancestors deeply apologize for any pain or suffering that this has caused you. And Itzel will continue to make herself happy and healthy and share that with others. Just open your heart in whatever measure of forgiveness. We are truly, truly grateful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Love you, love you, love you, love you. And any other soul who has hurt Itzel, her ancestors, in a similar way, please accept their love, compassion, and light and forgiveness. And let's come together in love, in peace, and in harmony. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Love you, love you, love you, love you. Tak Wan Shu, Tak Wan Shu, Tak Wan Shu, Tak Wan Shu. Greatest forgiveness, greatest forgiveness, greatest forgiveness, greatest forgiveness. How. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Love you, love you, love you. Please continue to join us as appropriate. And if you must leave, thank you, thank you, thank you. Love you, love you, love you. So dear my daughter that I healing hands, I love you, honor you, appreciate you, and thank you enough for your love, your light, your healing, and thank heaven and our beloved teacher, Master Shan. May you please turn on and bless Itzel as appropriate for what she most needs at this time for her anxiety and the root of whatever might be causing this for her as appropriate. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Love you, love you, love you. Blessing begins.
So the blessing will be silent, Ithel.
which means perfect, good well. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
So her cell phone dropped off a minute or two ago. Here she comes
Okay.
again.
How do you feel? Did you experience anything?
Look at that smile.
I feel pretty relieved. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I feel pretty calm right now. I was kind of like falling asleep a little bit because it was pretty. Um, I don't feel so anxious anymore. I don't think I have any. It's probably at like a 1 or 0. That's good.
Wow.
And I feel relieved and
I'm very happy for you.
Hmm.
thank you.
I love you, Itzy. Thank you for letting me serve you in this way.
Thank you, Ithel, for your courage and coming on to social media to receive this blessing. Some folks won't do it. It's like, who's going to be watching? And we never know. And it doesn't matter.
And Terry, let me tell you, I've done other blessings for Itzel. And it's just so beautiful. When we were in Mexico, we went to visit my grandma. She got sick while she was there. And when I gave her the blessing for her, I had never experienced this love. It was this love that it was like I can't even describe it. It just felt like so free, so expanded, so the best words I could have is divine love. And I remember I have done many blessings for a lot of mi familia because that's my family. We all have needed lots of help, and I've just been so grateful and so blessed to be able to use this with them. But I had never felt like what I felt like when I blessed Itzy. It was just like this, and like love I had never felt before. And it was so beautiful. And I was so grateful that she had connected me with that. And, and so it's truly amazing.
It really is. It's outside of human experience, except in rare cases. And the wonderful thing is these Tao hands transmissions, they really give us access. Some people call it a portal. Whatever the words are, it gives us the ability to experience what we hardly ever experience. I remember back when I was in college, it was called peak experiences, and the belief back then was, you know, they aren't sustainable because the mind would acclimate to it, get used to it. If you have ice cream every day, after a while, it's like, oh yeah, ice cream. But we do have the ability to move into these. I don't want to say altered state because everything is an altered state. None of us are in a natural state unless we've been off the grid for a month. Yeah. So Noe, thank you so much for coming on tonight and for offering these amazing blessings to two of your family. So I know that Josie said her pain level was an 8 or maybe a 7 at the beginning, and then it was a 4, maybe even just a 3, just like 6 or 7 minutes later. which is just amazing to me. How can pain drop that quick? But I've seen it for years. And what was Itzel's beginning level? Do you
I got
remember?
a 4.
A 4.
She,
And I remember
I'm
she said it was like a 0 or a 1 at the end. Wow.
truly remarkable.
Yeah.
To really have this at our fingertips, to be able to help our loved ones and our neighbors, our community. It's truly one of the greatest gifts that I have had. And I
Yeah.
think words cannot describe how grateful I am for having been gifted. I call this the greatest gift I could have received in my life.
Yeah. That's really true. Christmas, birthdays, parties, and presents don't have the meaning. I don't have the desire for them like I used to. Um, I'm much more interested in watching people become happy and healthy. Yeah. And I know you do too. We've talked about this before. I'm really fortunate that I've been adopted into your familia.
Yes, as we are, Terry.
Yeah.
We're one whole big family. Big family, for sure.
So thank you very much for sharing your heart and your Dow hands again. Um, and I will see you hopefully soon.
Thank you, Terry. And it's really been a pleasure. But in closing, I would say that none of this would have ever been possible if it wasn't for Master Dr. Shigan Shah. And
It's
so
true. Yeah.
I cannot ever be grateful enough. And if you guys can try it, to be able to help your family in a time of need, whether you have children or it's your parents or grandparents or yourself. I am on a self healing journey as well. And the more you heal, the more layers you uncover. So let this be your gift of love to yourself and to your loved ones. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Good night. So this has been a Mikey there on the side. This has been another Who's Your Neighbor evening, and the focus has been on Tao Healing Hands. It's a transmission that's received from those who've been empowered to transmit it. May sound like a circular definition, but Dr. and Master Jigong Shah, medical doctor, traditional Chinese medicine doctor, hospital administrator, couldn't heal everybody that he wanted to. And then he had a chest condition that evidently he'd had earlier in his life. And he went back, he'd been studying the traditional Chinese healing, not healing arts, well, they were healing, but Qigong and Tai Chi and I Ching, tossing yarrow stalks or maybe coins. And he went back to his Qigong master and he said, Master, can you help me? And I guess the master went something like, which must have meant yes. And the way I heard it was Dr. and Master Shah said, well, how? You didn't teach us this in Qigong class. He said, same principle, different application. And so as he integrated Western medical philosophy, practices, etc., and Eastern medicine, energy medicine, then and continued to integrate these concepts and also what he'd learned from the time he was 6 years old. I'm still amazed that a 6-year-old could stand for 4 or 5 hours and do a practice. It's like, I could not do it. But I was practicing Qigong 35 or 40 years ago, and 30 minutes was my maximum. after 6 months. So, here's a 6-year-old child that's, going for an hour and then 2 and then 3. And it's like, wow. And he continued that his entire life and developed to the point where he's now able to transmit blessings to others. He's able to transmit the ability to transmit Tao hands transmissions to others, which is just stunning to me. It's like, wow, how can that be? But I've experienced it. I've been around this since he saved my life in 2008. And then I had a lot of work to do in between to put myself back together. And now it's like, wow. So, Michelle, if you could post that link again on the screen here. There's going to be level 1 Tao Healing Hands training through the Tao Center in Portland, Oregon on Sunday, July the 31st. It's 1-day training for level 1. Level 1 is heal yourself, physical, mental, emotional, which is that's an awful lot of most of our life. And you can learn how to do it and receive the transmission all in, 7 or 8 hours. It's $150, one-time fee. The additional trainings that you're invited to so that you can, deepen into your practice, learn, get more sophisticated at, that's free. It's, it's just donation. And I remember what the trainer, Paul Fletcher, is an international consultant. He's literally been, I don't know if he's been around all the world, but I know he's been to Korea and Belgium and lived in Hawaii and now is living in Portland, Oregon. He's one of the 3 co-leaders of the Tao Center here in Portland. And he'll be doing the training. And one of his, I love some of his one-liners. It's like, I've got a magic wand on the end of my arm. I love that one because that's what it seems like. Our minds go, how can that be? That's not me. That's true. It's not me. It's that connection to source. And, another thing that he said once was, it's $150 one time for 1 day training, but then you've got this magic wand for the rest of your life. But if you go to a chiropractor or get a massage, it can be $75, $85, $100 every time you go. And you can give yourself a Tao treatment. In fact, for us, when we're giving Tao Hands blessings to ourselves, there's no limit. You may have heard Noelia saying that she gave her grandmother a blessing every 5 hours. That's because if we're offering these to someone else, that's a level 2 that gives us that ability to offer them to somebody else. But if we're offering to somebody else, there's a limit of no sooner than every 5 hours and 3 times a day, 4 at the absolute maximum. And, there's universal laws that govern this. I don't understand them. I just know that's the training. But for us, for some reason, we can work on ourselves, or rather ask the Tao to do it, as many times a day as is right. It's amazing. It's like getting massaged 3 times a day for a one-time fee of $150. Anyway, there's the registration link. Actually, that's the landing page. It will give you much more information than I'm sharing here. And it'll be in the chat room. And if you're watching it live, it'll be in the chat room. You can come back and watch it again. The recording will be up there, who knows, months, years. So the dates will change. But level 1 is every January, level 2 is every February, level 3 is every March, and then it repeats. April, May, June, July, August, September. So this is July. So we're doing level 1 again, again this month. But if you miss, and it's August the 2nd, you go, wait a minute, I missed the training, darn it. You really didn't. You just missed that particular day, because you can connect with the Dow Center Portland, and you can go to the, let's see, Michelle, if you can put up the phone number and the website for Dow Center Portland over in the chat room, you can simply connect with the office manager. And when you register for Dow Hands training level 1, because you got to do them in order 1, 2, 3. If you go that far, you don't have to. You can just do level 1. But when you register for it, then if there's no training for maybe 3 months or 3 months minus 2 days, you can still receive the recording of the previous one and watch it as many times as you want. And then the next time level 1 is given live training, you can join, no additional cost. Yeah, I like that idea, really, because there's a lot to take in. There it is, Dow Center Portland. There's a phone number. Yeah. The nice thing about anything that we repeat, it goes deeper into us. We understand it more. We feel it more. We're more familiar with it. So that's all I've got to say. And for tonight. So every Tuesday night, we're here, and it's Who's Your Neighbor? Next Tuesday, all things going well, we will have a master teacher from Fort Collins, Colorado, I believe is where she's at. And dial in and see what kind of magic you can experience next week. And so until then, I'm Terry McGill, and Who's Your Neighbor?